What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to our Road to the Goal series. Right now, we're in the NBA League, have a nice little record, and we are just on a groove right now. In today's matchup, we got the 2010 Trailblazers going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves. My opponent is the Trailblazers, while I am the Timberwolves, and I decided to give them another try because they had some of their key guys back, like D'Angelo Russell was coming off an injury, so I thought it would be fun to give this team another try. I believe I played with them before and it didn't go too well, but when this team is fully healthy and looking at the names they have in 2K, they have a pretty good roster that should be able to get the job done, especially when you have a really good center in Karl Anthony Towns and then Anthony Edwards get off to a good start like this, hitting a three. Makes it a lot easier to play with this team instead of just trying to get your way to the rim and everything. So my opponent has gone with the Portland Trailblazers 2009 to 2010, and I've seen this team before. Well, not really, but I've seen Brandon Roy and what he could do. This guy, he is probably the one of the most underrated players to play with. When I used to play now, team up or all-star team up, Brandon Roy, that was a guy who wasn't really chosen a lot, but the people that did choose him, man, it was just a beast. He was just shooting threes, he was just dunking on everybody, and I remember watching him briefly in real life, but that Portland Trailblazers team were just riddled with injuries with Brandon Roy, of course, and then you also had Greg Oden. And unfortunately, they couldn't really do a lot of damage with the team they had. They have a pretty good roster at that time, and they still do in this 2K game, and we'll see how it goes in this matchup. But I've gotten off to a very fast and good start. The score is 16-5, so the defense is there, the offense is there, and we are just on a groove. And D'Angelo Russell has made all of the difference in the world for the Minnesota Timberwolves when I'm playing with them. Good poster there. I'm telling you, Brandon Roy, that's a guy who's highly underrated. He's a pretty good player. And yeah, we end out the first quarter with an 11-point lead. And at this point in the game, I'm feeling pretty good. The Timberwolves, they're shooting. We're getting to the rim easily. We're playing good defense. It took a while for my opponent to get his first bucket in the first quarter, and I was pretty happy about that. So I'm on cruise control right now. D'Angelo Russell, pick and roll with Karl Anthony Towns, works to perfection. Give 2 points to Karl Anthony Towns there. So right now we're still on a groove. Haven't really taken the starters out, but we're bringing in a mixture of bench and starter guys in. So my opponent now has gone to that dead full 2-3 zone, and we're just trying to work the ball around. D'Angelo Russell, good three-pointer, deep three, and the reason why I probably hit that is because I got him going a little early in the first quarter. So that's always a good sign when you're able to shoot against the zone, because if you can't shoot against the zone, I don't really think it matters how good you are. If you can't shoot against the zone, it's going to be a low probability that you win the game. D'Angelo Russell finding the hole in the zone again. Nice little mid-range jump shot. Now the game score is 27-12, but nice poster by Brandon Roy. I'm telling you, this guy, I didn't know on 2K they have him as a crazy dunker. And like I said, I never really watched him play, but I knew he was pretty good. To talk about my opponent, he didn't really have a game plan, or his game plan was just more so of getting to the rim with Brandon Roy. And you can see Brandon Roy is already tired, and we are not even out of the first half yet. So I went to a bit of a zone, and he hits the three, so that's good on him. And I went to the zone just to try and stop his drive, his initial drive. And when I took out the starters, we were really struggling to score with the bench guys. So I had to bring in the starters sooner than later just to protect the lead I had. But I'm still not too worried. We're flowing on offense, and the defense is still looking good. Trying to work it around in this zone. We get it down low to Reed. He doesn't play that good of defense. Usually that would be a missed shot if he would have just contested that. But fortunately for us, he didn't really contest it, and we make the bucket. So first half is winding down. Score is 32-19. He's trying to back me down. I really don't know what he's trying to do here. Like I said, his focal game plan or his objective in this game was really just to get Brandon Roy going, and anyone else who got buckets, that was just a addition for him. So on that possession, he scored. Good offense by him, I guess. Didn't really run anything too crazy, but we have the ball and we're trying to hold for the last possession. So we're trying to work it around too. Jake Layman, look how we work that ball around, and that's all we have to do. If you have a team that knows how to space the floor on the 2-3 zone or against the 2-3 zone, you should be good. And that's one of the other things you need. You got to have decent shooters at least, and you got to have the AI teammates on offense know when to cut, know when to space the floor, just when to stand still. And that's very important because the 2-3 zone on here, it's ridiculous, man, if you don't have shooters. But there's some teams that you'll go up against and their 2-3 defense is just amazing. It's just one of the best I've ever seen. But the Portland Trailblazers is not one of those teams. I would say the Clippers, that last loss I took, when my opponent ran that 2-3 zone, that was just ridiculous. I couldn't get anything that I wanted. I would also say the Suns, they have a decent 2-3 zone, but like I said, it depends on if you have shooters or not. And there are rare cases where the computer defense AI or your opponent defense AI, they rotate so well on defense that you really can't find an open shot because you have to go through the animation and then the guy has to go through his jump shot routine, and by that time the computer has already rotated. But fortunately in this case, we are finding the holes in the zone, we're shooting, we're getting out on the break, and that's another important thing. If you're going up against someone who's playing zone and you're struggling to score on offense, those fast break points are going to be key. Well, my opponent quits out of this match. I guess he had enough, couldn't really contend with us, and we pick up another victory. So that improves our record to 45-3, and we have a 2-0 record. Hopefully we can get through this seed undefeated, but I will see you guys later.